Recording. All right. I got a quick demo. So, I made a spinner controller this week. Kind of got a little distracted. ADHD kind of took over my body, and this was the outcome. So, what is it? This is the prototype. This is a EC11, I think is what it's called. A rotary encoder is what it's called. Sorry, my brain's not working. There's an RP 2040, which is my new favorite microcontroller, especially because it behaves like a USB, like it could be a mouse or a gamepad. And then I have this toggle switch, so I wanted the ability to play with a spinner, like in the arcade, like Tempest, mainly Tempest. And then I also wanted it to be able to be a paddle, like so in the terms of like how the computer sees it. It can be a either a mouse, and it'll feed it how far the mouse has moved in X in either direction, or it could be a gamepad, joystick axis. The difference is the joystick can only be, from minimum to maximum. It's like it can either be left or right or anywhere in between, where a spinner can just endlessly keep moving. So it's a fundamental difference. If you're familiar with my channel, I am obsessed with paddles, which have a finite travel distance. So this is a paddle, one of my prototypes. And this one has like an arrow on it, kind of like a volume knob, and you can see that it stops once it hits the edge. This is a badly positioned arrow because I would prefer if it was like down here, and then if you turn it all the way down, it goes to here, which makes no sense. So I would maybe, if it was like this, if this was your volume knob and you had like an indicator, it would go from 0 to maximum like that. And paddles are great because they have a real good feel. It's like a 1-to-1 correlation. I've said that a million times. I'm like a broken record. Okay, so spinners. Let's set it to spinner mode. I also did a cool thing. I developed my own button because these buttons that I also like are look at that, it's like changing stuff on my screen. These buttons are momentary switches, 16mm switches that I bought from Adafruit. I love them. They feel great. They're so like premium, except that they also have like a super strong spring. So I wanted to kind of like copy the form factor, but I built like a sort of assembly harness thing. Oh, it's right here. Something like this, where the bottom is snaps the Cherry MX keyboard switch, and then this is an older prototype where the clips kind of break off. So I made a new one that has like is more like covered, and so it doesn't break, or it hasn't broken yet is a better way to put it. I also 3D printed a nut so that this could be mounted properly. So anyway, I should show you how it works. And obviously I mentioned Tempest. Whoops. Whoa, what? Okay, let's go. So I'm running MAME from the command line. just seems you get a little more control that way. It's not necessary, but it's a great game. So let's see. I'm gonna hit 5 a couple times, get some quarters in there, credits, and now you could see this is me turning the knob. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Whoops, I'm in the wrong mode. That's hilarious. So the controller has a switch on it. I had it switched on gamepad mode, which it thought that I was cranking the joystick like to the left or to the right, and when it does that, it doesn't really give you like rotation control. It gives you left and right control. So that's what was happening there. So I'm just holding down the fire button because in these early levels it's easier, but here I am using it the right way. So gotta hit the second button to super zap them. Super zapper. Sometimes you gotta use it. Actually, it's the only reason I added the second button was to play this game properly. So let's talk about the rotary encoder. It's an EC11, which is just something spare thing that I had in a box, and I was like, I want to make a spinner today. What do I have? And I couldn't wait to source like really pro rotary or spinners, arcade spinners. So, whoa! Alright. So I was like, okay, I'll try this. And also, as I was sort of like searching for spinner components, started to realize they're unbelievably expensive. Like, I think the lowest end one that I would use on like a cabinet, I think would cost me like $80. And the rotary encoder I'm using probably cost me, I don't know, $5 at most. Probably less, probably like 50 cents. Oh, okay, I knew that was gonna happen. Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, I'll stop paying attention for a second. So, whoa. Oh, let's super zap that. Okay, what was I saying? So, cheap rotary encoders. What's wrong with them? They have like a gear inside. So they it's like a clicky gear. It the way the encoder works is the contacts kind of like rub up against the gear teeth, and it detects from two of these contacts. It detects when the contact is made, and the two teeth are arranged in such a way that the signals alternate. So that's how it knows, based on their positioning, it knows, basically it just knows which direction you're going in, and then it registers that as like a click. So I can feel the ticks, like click, 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 click in my encoder, and that translates to only like one resolution of movement. So it's a digital device. All spinners are digital, basically. Think of it that way, which is also sort of my obsession with paddles, because paddles are actually analog. A potentiometer just feeds you an analog voltage, so it has infinite resolution theoretically, depending on how you design it. Like if it had a knob that was like the size of my head, you would have that fine control, as long as the analog to digital converter that sends the signal to the computer has enough resolution to comprehend that But anyway, back to the limitations of this controller. But the thing is, like, you can tell from me playing to at least this game, it's really good. Like, it's perfect for this game. So I'm gonna maybe come up with a different example. So let's try, whoops, let's go MAME. Actually, let's just go, oh shoot, let's hit up until we get to I think what I want to play is it mouse? Do I want mouse? Yeah. Yeah, let's just generically open up MAME from the menu. And we'll play some Arkanoid. I think this is the one I like. So Arkanoid also uses a spinner. It's a breakout style game, or a brick breaker style game, which I really like. I'm really fond of the, obviously. But this one uses a spinner, which is interesting because the lower resolution becomes apparent. So my spinner seems slow, so I'm going to use, I added this sensitivity knob. I'm going to turn it up a little. But when I turn up the sensitivity knob, it actually reduces the resolution. I don't know if that makes sense, so I'll explain. It means that with every tick from this paddle, like, you can see it kind of ticking. You see how it's sort of jittering on the screen? With every tick, it's telling it, it's basically saying it's moved more, like a larger distance. Woo! Okay. I was enjoying having the projectiles. So, just to say that this is where you start to reveal the limitations of this paddle or spinner, is that it only has 20 detents, which means each of the two contacts makes contact 20 times per revolution or per rotation. And actually, in reality, because of the algorithm that converts it to a tick, it actually sees not 80, because it multiplies it by 4. It's called quadrature. It actually sees 80 different states per revolution. So it's not terrible. But if you think about, like, if this was a 256 pixel game from left to right, you're not getting a one-to-one, like one pixel. So you can't get super smooth control. Like, you can't move it one pixel at a time, if that makes sense. But so for a game like Arkanoid, it might not be ideal. And it's also why I prefer paddles. But I gotta say, this spinner is really great. So why did I make a spinner with such a low resolution, what do you call it? Major Havoc. Why did I make it with such a low resolution spinner or rotary encoder? The answer is cost. I wanted to challenge myself to make, like, the most entry-level cost-friendly, wallet-friendly spinner. So if it is a $5 component, it's probably less. Then maybe the microcontroller is also $5. Maybe these switches are $1. I don't know. this whole thing might only be $10, and then I 3D printed a knob. These are just knobs that I had, spare knobs I had lying around. This one has a little bit more love put into it. It has an alpha linear potentiometer for the trim knob, or for the sensitivity knob. A nice Cherry MX switch here with a custom designed housing. And this is a pretty nice button. I don't know what it, maybe $2-3. So this one would cost more. I don't know, another $5, maybe $10 maximum. But just to say that, oh, in this case, this is I found this is a Hammond 1590 or something B that I found on Printables website. So I 3D printed that, and then I drilled the holes manually. In the future, if I wanted to design another, like an official enclosure, then I would design all the openings properly positioned. The microcontroller is like glued on the base here with the USB-C connector kind of showing here with red really blotchy red welded yeah, I use like a soldering iron to like melt the plastic to sort of like cover up the bad cut hatchet job that I did. Let's plug that back in. Let's see if the game still responds. So this is a new game I discovered, an Atari game. It's called Major Havoc. And let's see, I think it works fine in the middle. Let's see. Yeah, I like to turn up the sensitivity so I could play Breakout on the lower right there. That's hilarious. Whoops. Okay. Actually, I feel like I need more sensitivity. Whoop. Okay. Yo. Why am I so bad at this? Oh my god. Okay. Now this game's kind of neat. Wait, first we gotta land. It goes into this kind of mode. So let's see, we gotta jump, get some oxygen. Whoops. And then go here. And then jump. Whoa. You gotta watch your head. Oh, I'm doing well this time. Plenty of oxygen left. But yeah, I don't know if you're noticing, but I'm kind of spinning using my finger. I think I should redesign the knob to have like a little indentation to make that technique work a little better. And then I think this would be an almost perfect controller. Whoops. Okay. So yeah, I really like having a spinner. Whoop. Okay, see, let's see if I can jump with the shield on. Get some oxygen. Ah! Oh, I died. I guess you only get... I guess you don't get as much shield as... like an... You don't really get like an unlimited amount. Wow. Oh, this is going to be hard. Alright. Oh, I didn't mean to start a new game. So let's see. I think I'll just quickly show paddle mode again using the game that I wrote. brick game. And I assume I'm not going to play very well. Because... Oh wait, I have to switch it to... I'm going to switch it to paddle mode. Actually, I'll show both modes. So the nice thing about this controller is that it switches on the fly. It like reboots when you toggle. So you can also see it on my screen where it says it switches from saying ZX to AB because it knows if it thinks you only have a mouse and keyboard, it'll switch to like keyboard control. And if it sees that there's a joystick connected, so that's what this would be in paddle mode, is like a joystick, then it switches, which is a really cool thing for my game, which detects things automatically, because then you can... So I gotta dial down the speed. Okay. The neat thing is you can kind of like do a quick comparison. So if oops, I'll switch it in between levels. So if I switch back to mouse, whoops, now mouse mode is I would say it's exactly the same, except the way my game works is if it thinks you have a paddle connected, it remaps the paddle coordinates to use a smaller range of movement, basically for comfort. So that's why now in mouse mode, each tick translates to a smaller movement. So I'm going to go back to paddle mode, and now you see like a little bit faster control. But with faster control comes like less resolution, so I can't like make a fine adjustment. You can see like how it's like click click click. You can see I only have about 20 different, or not 20, more like 10 different. Actually, it is probably 20. Maybe more, maybe 40. I don't know. But it's not enough for this game. So, but the speed feels good. So it's a real compromise. So maybe I'll even turn up the speed just slightly and try again. So I'm in paddle mode. Did I want? No, I wanted to reduce the speed, I think. Yeah. Let's see. So this is the challenge. Can I get to a higher level using my rotary encoder in paddle mode? I've already lost a life, which is horrible. I'm doing terribly. But when I use an actual paddle, can usually get to level 6 without even trying, and then when I'm really trying, I can get to level 8 or 9, and the highest I've ever been is level 10. And unfortunately, we're going to be here a while, so feel free to fast forward. If you want to play those games I was playing in MAME, I don't want to teach you how to, or where to get ROMs necessarily, but make sure whatever version of MAME you get, make sure you make note of the version number, and then when you're searching for a ROM, get a ROM for that version. That's my advice. And sometimes, whoops, this camera keeps bouncing around, sorry. Jeez. sometimes ROMs also come in different, like sometimes there's a parent. Yeah, like when you download a ROM, it might come in like a zip file or something, and make sure you watch out that if you download a ROM package, that it, whether it requires like a parent package. Like if Tempest, I think Tempest came in a directory called Tempest 3, and I think you needed to find Tempest 1 or something like that. I mean, not exactly, but that's my advice. Oh, and you can sometimes find a version that says it's self-contained, so you don't have to worry about multiple downloads for one game. And I did find that I do find it convenient to launch MAME from the command line so that I could it sort of sets the default controller. I'm not savvy about setting up the configs yet, so currently that's how I like to launch MAME. Like when I want to use mouse mode for the spinner, I'll do like MAME-mouse. To launch it in paddle mode is a little more involved. It's like something like MAME-joystick type, and then you have to type like joystick paddle or something weird like that. Anyway, just my little heads up. Let's see. So I did get to level 6, which kind of means the spinner paddle is pretty legit. I think this is how I would characterize why you would want a low-cost entry-level 20 detent rotary encoder spinner for playing MAME or whatever other paddle games or spinner games. Is it totally scratches that itch. I would say it's not going to replace an optical rotary encoder spinner, arcade style spinner that costs hundreds of dollars. It's nothing close to that. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Something people do when I'm in the arcade. Every time they get on a game that has a spinner, they flick it. And arcade spinners are so robust because they're optical. They have no problem with flicking it at like 1,000 RPM. That's an exaggeration. I don't know how many RPM. Actually, RPM's not. Oops. Maybe it's more than 1,000. But sorry, I'm trying to do math while I'm concentrating. Okay, this is obviously a legit controller. I got to level 8. That's ridiculous. Well. I have been so judgmental of digital rotary inputs. I thought my analog paddle was so superior. But here I am, kicking ass with an EC11. I just proved myself wrong. But I also think I might have invented a really awesome arcade controller. I'm really happy about that. Especially if I can if I could like finish the design of this custom Cherry MX button thing, because it is really great. It just feels awesome. I need it to be quieter, and I need it to be a little more robust so that it doesn't break. Because right now I'm sure if I pushed hard enough, it would bust the ass out of it, in a manner of speaking. Like, I think the whole button component would just fall out if I pushed it in hard enough. So I think I can redesign it to bottom out and not push the actual switch through. Oh my god. The fact that I got to level 9 might mean this is the best controller of all time. This is ridiculous. Sorry about the wobble on this camera. I keep bumping the gooseneck. I don't know what to say. This is an amazing controller that I hacked together in 3 days, and I think I just need to build 10 of them, put them up on Etsy, or send them to my friends, and I don't know, reach out to me if you want one, although it might take me a while to make them. I gotta redo the design of the button. Just so you know, yeah, it's held in with these little snaps. They are, in the current design, it's more like a closed box instead of this open space. But you could still probably just push it hard enough until it just goes through like that, and then this will just fall out. It's certainly a lot stronger. This thing can take a beating, but I'm not willing to put this through a stress test right now because it's my first one, and it took me a bit of trial and error to get it to this state, and I'm just thrilled to have it in working order, proper working order. But as far as like prototypes are concerned, this is nice, solid. You know, this alpha knob is great. This encoder is probably the most fragile bit because it is cheap, but also it has like a button design. I think that makes it more fragile. You could push it in and click it as a button, but I didn't actually wire it up because I don't like that functionality. So when I rebuild this, it's going to have a different encoder that does not click in, and also I forgot if I said this earlier, instead of using an EC11, I'm going to be using EC12s, and yeah, you could totally feel the wobble in this. Like, this is certainly entry level, but obviously I was able to get one of my highest scores in the game I wrote using what I thought was a highly inferior device. So that's it. That's my demo, my very first demo of my hybrid spinner paddle using a rotary encoder. Oh, and as far as the clickiness of the knob, one of the reasons I put a nice big knob on it is you really don't feel it. You don't feel the clicky. I thought you would, and I thought it was going to bother me, but I was totally wrong. I was wrong about everything. That's why it's important to try crazy ideas. It feels smooth enough. Like, it feels actually really damn good. Even like spinning it like this feels really good. So I was saying earlier, you can't flick it. You can't flick it. Here, I'll show you what it does before we go. Let's get into Tempest. Terminal. Tempest. Switch to mouse. And we're gonna do a flick test. So need some quarters. So here's me spinning it really fast, but then flick it. So I'm flicking to the right, and you see how it just kind of sits there. It like spazzes out because it doesn't know where you're going. I think what's happening is you're like, it's like a leaf spring hitting this gear like really fast, so that it's like not even touching it because it's you're hitting it so hard. Anyway, you can go fast, you spinning with your finger, but you can't just flick it. So just wanted to demonstrate that. All right, this is a really long video, so I hope if anyone stuck to the end, thanks. That's totally awesome of you. But I hope people get excited about some of the stuff I make. I will share the designs. If you know where my GitHub is, you'll find them. I will link the branch that I'm on. It's not finished designs, but there's a schematic. It's in there. And anyway, that is all for today. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.